Welcome to our kindergarten informational night. My name is Rhonda Thornton. I'm the Executive Director of Data and Accountability for the district, and our department is in charge of registration and student assignment process. And so we are so excited to have you here this evening. This is a new chapter, I'm sure, for many of you in your children's lives. How many of you have a kindergartner? This is the first kindergartner that you're sending off to kindergarten. Okay, I see a couple of you. It will be okay, I promise you. How many of you have a kindergartner and this is your last child that you're sending off to kindergarten? Do we have? Okay, we have a one right here. And turn and look at them. See, they're fine. It will be okay, I promise you. So we are really thrilled to have you here this evening to learn about kindergarten, the kindergarten registration process. And so without further ado, I get the pleasure of introducing you to our superintendent, Dr. Sheila Spencer. Well, good evening. Good evening. Okay, that's a little dry. Good evening.
Good evening.
There you go. Now, the only one that those who I probably would expect to be kind of like, are those of us your first one going to kindergarten. I get it. Been there, done that. But to the one who this is your last one going to kindergarten, you should probably go and be doing cartwheels right about now. I've been there and I've done that as well. But honestly, I do just want to say, we're excited to have you. This is probably the largest crowd we've had in a while. So I'm glad to have you out here tonight. I'm glad to say that we are here to help give you some information regarding our school district. Our principals are here so you can talk to them. We just have a lot of great things we want to talk to you about and make sure you're okay. Give you an opportunity to ask us some questions because this is a milestone in your child's life, whether it's your first, second, third, or 16th. I don't know if that's 16 children, but that happens. But it's still a great milestone for that child. And being able to welcome them into our schools for the first time is crucial. Whatever your experiences have been with us, we're excited to say that every year we get better. This program, this process gets better. And so we're really happy to have you here. We've got many people here in the audience, or in the room, I should say, in the gymnasium, to give you some great information. No question is a bad question. We're here to make sure you understand what the process is. We're here to make sure that you're comfortable with leaving your children in our care. And I'm telling you, I have 3 grandchildren, and all of them are 2 and under. But if I had kids school age, I would not hesitate to put them in any of our elementary buildings here in Unit 4. And I don't just say that because the principals are sitting here looking at me. I mean it. We have phenomenal leaders in schools. So I just want to say thank you to all of them. And real quick, so I'm going to sit down and stop talking. I want to just remind you of who we are. Unit 4, our mission is to empower each learner to thrive in a diverse and changing world. And as I look across this room, I see such diversity, and we honor that. We're so proud of who we are, and we want to keep it at the forefront of everything that we do. We want to make sure your voices are heard, that you are seen, you are valued, and not only you, but your children as well. Our mission is to positively transform learning and life outcomes for students through educational justice, equity, and excellence. And we don't just put that, just say that in words, we really mean it. We're striving for excellence. Excellence is a state of becoming. We're not there yet, but we're on our way, and we're going to get there because of your help. And we're going to make sure that you understand the journey that we're on, and we're going to travel this together. We may do some things that are not quite always right, and I'm the first to admit that. But we always want to get it right. So please let us know if we're not doing something that you understand or you agree with. Please come and talk to us so that we can make things better for you, and most importantly, so your child will have the best educational experience. That first experience is crucial. We want our children to love coming to school every day. We want that for all of them. The next thing I want to do is just quickly introduce some of the folks that kind of help make for who it is and who we are. Got some folks in the room. They're my cabinet members, the ones who are doing some of the work, making some of the decisions, who also are there to support our building leaders. And first we have our Assistant Superintendent of Equity and Engagement, Dr. Angela Ward. When I call your name for you to stand, please. Assistant Superintendent of Leadership, Mr. Henry Walker. Assistant Superintendent of HR, Organization and Effectiveness, Mr. Ken Kleber. He is not here tonight. He's someplace, y'all not gonna believe it, learning. He went to a conference. Yes, 2-day conference, so he can get better at what he does. Yes, let's give it up for him as well. Mike Blair, our Executive Director of Teaching and Learning. All things curriculum. Rhonda Thornton, you met her already, our Executive Director of Data Accountability and Student Assignment Process. Dr. James Harden, Executive Director of Engagement and Social Emotional Learning. So all that we do for family engagement, that falls under him. Mr. Dan Casillas, Executive Director of Facilities and Services. Making sure our buses, our O&M, our buildings, and all that kind of stuff help me make a decision on whether or not to have e-learning or a snow day. He helps me make that decision. Ms. Stacy Moore, Chief Communication Officer. Social media, all those things. Ms. Linda Metkowski, our Chief Financial Officer. I'm not sure she made it, but she is the money woman. We kind of call her Aunt Linda because we want some money from her. You just kind of go, please. And then Suzanne Meisland, our Executive Director of Special Education. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Orlando Thomas, Executive Director of School Support. I'm proud to work with them. They help me make me want to come to work every day. So with that being said, I'm going to turn the microphone back over to Rhonda, so she can continue on with what we have here tonight. Again, I'm so proud to see you here tonight and just excited for this new journey for all of you. Have a great evening while you're here.
Thank you. Okay, so she introduced the cabinet, and I now get the honor of introducing to you the principals of the 12 elementary schools. These are the schools that you will have choices for your children to attend. So I'm going to start with Barksdall, Esther Ferguson. Washington, Jackie T. Plainfield is Kendra Bonham. Here in UC is Dan Knott. Dr. Howard is Samantha Turner. Garden Hills, the principal of this wonderful facility, Dr. Asia Fuller, she has been out sick the last few days, so she is not here this evening, but let's still give her a round of applause. International Prep Academy is Dr. Jonathan Kozowski. Kinwood is Trevor Nadrozny. Robeson is Jennifer T. Southside is Christian Mahone. And Stratton is Zipporah Quinn. And Westview is Nick Swords. He's not here as well, but let's give him a round of applause. All right, thank you, principals. You can now go out to your tables. Parents, you will have an opportunity to talk with them, ask questions of them, learn about their school and their programs that they have to offer. But first, we have a few important things we want to go over with you. And so at this time, I'm going to ask Emily, there she is, Emily Dupuy, if she can come up. She's going to talk to you about food service in Unit 4. And what we have to offer for your children. We figured some of the important things that you were going to want to know about is, how are we taking care of your children? So what are they going to eat when they come to school? So here, Emily.
Good evening, folks. Like Rhonda said, my name is Emily. I am the Director of Food Service here for Champaign Unit 4. First off, I just want to say that, this is my Assistant Director, Josh. But I want to say that we really understand what a huge responsibility it is to feed your kiddos. We take it very, very seriously. And we just think it's such an honor to feed your kids when they're with us at school. So I'm just going to touch on a couple brief things. And then we do have a table in the back, so you have some further questions, you want to see some sample menus, we have all of that back there. But I think first and foremost, the biggest thing is that all of our kiddos eat for free. So they all get a free breakfast and a free lunch, so you don't have to worry about sending accounts, you don't have to worry about sending money, anything like that. So I think that's just a great thing, because we always say the only hunger that we want our kiddos to feel is the hunger to learn. So, yeah, so it's really important that we feed your kids and that it's accessible to everybody. The other thing is that we are part of the National School Lunch Program. Being a part of the National School Lunch Program means that we have to abide by very meticulous guidelines to meet meal pattern requirements, nutritional requirements. So you might look at our menu and you'll see chicken nuggets on there. You might see popcorn chicken, but it's not the same kind that you can buy at the grocery store. The foods that we get are specially formulated for K through 12 schools. They're whole grain, they're not fried, they're baked. They are lower in saturated fat, calories, sodium, all the stuff that we want. So we are filling our kids' bellies with nutritious foods so that they can learn, they can do their best. The other thing that I wanted to mention too up here is that if you have kiddos with allergies and intolerances, there is a section on the registration form where you can fill out more information there. We work really closely with you, with your school nurse, and our teams in our kitchens to make sure that what we're providing your kiddo is safe for them to consume. So we do special menus if needed. We've done corn, dairy, soy-free, gluten-free, all those good things. So that is an option. And again, we are back there if you want to talk more. We are happy to speak with you, happy to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you all so much.
All right, so probably another thing that you're wondering about is, hey, that's how you're going to feed my children. How are they going to get to school and get home from school? So I'm going to invite Brad Caribou, who just walked in the door because he was busy driving this evening, and he's going to talk to you briefly about transportation. Hey, Brad!
I'm Brad Caribou, Director of Transportation. We offer transportation services to everyone who qualifies, which is 1.5 miles from their school they select. We have very few walk boundaries in this district due to all the railroad crossings, and most of the student population get transported by our school bus services. The district provides transportation within the 1.5 miles, and also if you live closer to any kind of hazardous area, like I mentioned, railroad crossings, high traffic areas, and so forth. We ensure that no one crosses a busy street, for example, Livingston or Bradley Avenue. So we coordinate our transportation to ensure that those students are picked up on the door side of the bus. We use global stops, as in if you live in a neighborhood, it is mainly a main intersection that encompasses both a huge area of the subdivision. Students are able to walk up to 0.25 miles to a bus stop. So that is our criteria. If you live by an intersection and there's a bus stop and you're saying I live too far, we will let you know if you meet the criteria. Sometimes we can mess up and we will create a new bus stop if it's outside the 0.25 walking distance to a bus stop. Visit this website to ensure where you are located. It's our proximity map, which I believe is going to be available after this presentation tonight, to see how far you are from our schools. Next slide. We offer a mobile app called MyRide K-12. This is where we send messages to a mobile device You can also do it on your laptop, but I don't believe you get the push notifications from our department. We have it set up that every time a bus is rolling, you will get ETA notifications of a bus running late or early, so it automatically pushes it. It's kind of funky at times, but it does work, and parents that use it, you see them outside looking at their phones, so it's a great resource, especially during the cold days. We can send transportation messages, push notifications, and you can communicate directly to our department through the app, and we'll respond via email if you have any questions, such and so forth. And bus schedules are released basically 2 weeks before school starts. Our goal is early August, and they'll be released through the app. So you'll be getting notifications from our department and so forth. If you have issues downloading the app or connecting your student profile, you just send us an email at U4Dispatch, the letter U, the number 4, dispatch at U4SD.org, and my team and my staff responds to those messages within 5 minutes or so of you getting this school year to ensure everybody has the app. Okay, and it provides live tracking so you can see where the bus is at exactly. There's some glitches like any technology, but there's been positive feedback, so please download that once you get registered. And I believe that's my slides.
All right, and then another question that we think you probably are going to be interested in is what options are available within the district for before and after school care. And so Teresa Blanford, I know I see her. There she is, here she comes. Teresa is going to talk to you about our Kids Plus program and how you can find out more and get signed up at some of our schools for Kids Plus. So Teresa.
My name is Teresa Landon. I'm the director of the Kids Plus program. Kids Plus is a before and after school program that is at all 12 elementary schools. Our goal is to provide a welcoming, safe, and dynamic space for all children where they can succeed and work towards reaching their highest potential. We have 5 schools that have a before school program. They are the schools that start with the letters B and S. So that would be your Barksdall, Bottonfield, BTW, Southside, Stratton. All 12 schools have an after-school program. There are 3 program options when you sign up. You can do Monday to Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday. What do we do during Kids Plus? We have homework time, snacks, STEM and STEAM activities, outdoor activities, arts and crafts, SEL activities. And we also accept CCRS, Child Resource. And if you have any questions about that, you can see me. I'll be in that. Thank you so much.
All right, so communication is really important, and so you'll want to visit our website. You can see live news feeds. We also have an app, so it's everything you need in your pocket is on the app, the Unit 4 app. So I highly encourage you to download the app, and once you get your student assignment, you can assign it to a school, so that way you can find out all the calendars for your student at that school, or if you have students at multiple schools, there's ways for you to connect it so you can see different schools of all the things that are happening within the district. We also have special education services, so you can see that we provide for whatever needs your students have, whether it's essential skills, life skills, self-contained. We do have deaf and hard of hearing programming, visually impaired programming, and we have a young adult program. We also have ESL programs. You can see that we have dual language programs at IPA, Stratton, and CECC. We also have bilingual programs at CECC, Central, Centennial, Jefferson, Garden Hills, Stratton, and Westview. And then we do have ESL programs and supports at all of our schools. Carolyn Bartolotta is the Director of Multilingual Services. She's going to have a table at the back, so if you have questions, you can always go and talk to her afterwards. Suzanne Meislin, who is over special ed, she also has a table. If you have you have questions for her, you can talk to her at the very end as well. All right, so we've given you a lot of information, and maybe you're wondering, okay, what can I expect from kindergarten? What can I think about the curriculum is going to look like, and what might be some ways that you can be working with your kindergartners now to prepare them? And so I'm happy to have Janelle Bassett come up. She is the director of Pre-K 5 Teaching and Learning. Janelle.
We were talking about being so excited for your kids to go to kindergarten. I had 4 kids in a 5-year span, and my oldest, I sent into kindergarten. I was so excited, like, oh, I had him dressed all cute. I'm like, oh, Freddie. We took a picture of him, and I told him, my husband was like, so was he nervous? And no, he was so excited. A few years ago, we found a picture, that exact picture. And Freddie was standing there in what we would call his character face, that face that you make when you have to go sit on Santa's lap, the Easter Bunny, Mickey Mouse. It's like this. How did I think he was not terrified to go to kindergarten? I was so excited, I didn't know that he was terrified. Now, as the others went along, because there were 4 kids in a 5-year span, there was always another one there to be like, we got this. So it was good, because poor little Freddie was terrified. And your kids may be experiencing some anxiety too, and that's where one of the things that we want to make sure that we do is prepare them, kind of let them know a little bit what's going on as they go to kindergarten. So when they go to kindergarten, one thing that's going to happen is they're going to be in school all day. And that's a long time when you're 5 years old. Think about going up to the earth 5 years, and now you're going to kindergarten, and you're going to learn to read, and do math, and to write, and science, and social studies. So we do all the core areas, as well as art, music, and PE. So they have a full day, just like a 3rd grader or a 4th grader, with all the same options. One of the things that we do with our reading is the science. We're basing our program on the science of reading. I don't know if you've heard about that. It's like a huge shift. But really, it's about making sure that kids know their letter sounds and how words work. Because I don't know about all of you, but a lot of the kids I taught, I didn't teach them that way. That's not how I was taught initially to teach. And so we realize that that's a piece that really helps in helping them become a reader and become words that they don't know. So you may be hearing one of the weird things that you might find out is all of a sudden when you show them a letter A, and instead of saying, when they first start, they may not be coming home and saying, oh, that's A. They may come home and say, ah! And when they say that B, they're going to go, look. So it's called a sounds first approach. So that's something very different. And one of the things, my own grandson, we had this issue where I went, and here I even know this, I went to go create an alphabet book to him. And I'm like, A is for, and he's like, no, Gigi. That's A is for apple, and B is for boat. I'm like, okay, you're right. Gigi is wrong on this. So that's a whole interesting thing. And one of the things that you can do to support your child now is to think about the letter sounds, and still do it with the symbols and the names, but they just start with that sound first approach. Now, having to make sure that they know their first and last name is a really, really important thing. Making sure they can identify their first and last name. And if you can just even start helping them write that, great idea. Remember to use that picture grip, that's an important piece. And anything to strengthen those little fingers is another really good thing. So Legos, picking up any kind of little items, those are great things for your child to do. It's going to help them be really successful in arts. I think so. The other things you want to think about is math and counting. We know that rote counting is expensive. It's important, right? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we do that, and we do that with our kids. But the other really important thing is the correlation counting. The whole idea of 1, 2, 3, 4, and counting items. That's what you can do. Making sure that you're talking about, is this more or is this less? So which one has more? Which one has less? Things like that, so they can visually start thinking in terms of that way. Sorting and categorizing things, looking at things to find how they're alike, how they're different. Those are great skills that are going to help them in the long run. Remember, kindergarten is also where we develop our self-help skills. So, making sure that your child can go to the bathroom by themselves, pull up their pants, zippers, buttons. If you can't do this, okay, pants with elastic are good too. They're all good. But thinking about those are skills that just will help your child be more successful. Washing their hands. I know that sounds like a silly one, but post-COVID is a really important thing that we've learned is you gotta learn how to wash your hands and dry it and soap and all that good stuff. One of the things that you can really help to make your child successful in kindergarten is to start developing routines. So a routine for how they come home, where they put their stuff, so in the morning you're not like, where is your book bag? Where is your other shoe? Who's had that experience either from themselves or their child, right? We want to make sure we have some kind of routine in place so that we don't have that happening. The other thing is making a routine for bedtime. So making sure that you have time where there's a quiet time and a bedtime. And bedtime is really important. There is research about how much a lack of sleep affects a child's ability to learn. And so we want to make sure they're getting that full 7 to 8 hours at least to get a good night's sleep so they're ready for school and ready to learn. Reading aloud to your child. One, it's just the best feeling ever to get to sit there with them. And they're little for so long, and in such a short time, they're like, I don't want to sit on your lap, Mommy. Next thing you know, they're in their 20s. So you want to make sure you read to them because that just gives them those language experiences. But when you're reading, not just reading for the words and going through the book, but asking what they think. What was your favorite part? What do you think is going to happen next? All those little questions that we ask through your day really help your child be prepared for kindergarten. And then anytime you can engage with letter writing, whether it's tracing their name in the air, it sounds silly, but it's really kind of fun thing to do. Environmental signs. When you drive by McDonald's, they can usually recognize that, right? You say, oh, what is that? Or even the grocery store is a great place for not only reading, but for numbers too. And make sure that you're talking about school. And this might sound silly, but if you have more than one child in your house, or even if it's just you and your significant other, or you and some friends, practice lining up. Lining up is such an important school skill. So if it's we're going to do it together, then okay, you're going to be the line leader, and we're going to line up behind you. Line it up, right? Or now I'm the line leader, you can line behind me and teach, starting those pieces of we stand with our hands to our side and we keep our hands to ourselves. Those school expectations are really important. The other thing is to remind your child if they need something to ask for help. That self-help skill is so important. So making sure that they have to go to the bathroom, that they're going to feel comfortable going up to an old teacher in that case to say, have to use the restroom. Teaching them that skill, teaching them if they need help with something to ask and not to be afraid to ask. So that's a really important thing. So those are some really important things about school as well. That's it. So make sure, talk to your kids, read with your kids, do numbers with your kids, start those routines, because one of the most important things, and come to school every day. I do want to really emphasize that. I know it's easy sometimes to feel like, oh, you're feeling a little sick, or I'm feeling a little sick, you should stay home today. The habits you set in kindergarten, as far as habits with homework, with attendance, those habits follow your child the rest of their school career. So think about that. Those habits we develop are the same habits when they go into middle school and they go into high school. So start with strong habits so that they have that strong school. All right?
All right, so now to talk about some of the requirements for kindergarten and for the registration process. So some of the entrance requirements, you can see them up there. These are all listed on our website as well. But your child does need to be 5 years of age on or before September 1st. That is the cutoff. So make sure that is the case. You will need to have a copy of your child's birth certificate. So there's really 4 things that you'll want to think about in terms of documents that you'll want to prepare and find in preparation for registering. Their birth certificate, you will need to provide 3 forms of residency. So 1 from category 1 up there, and then 2 from category 2 up there. So again, it's here, but it's also listed on our website. I know it was on the flyer, I believe it's in the guidebook, so definitely we've put it out there in plenty of different places for you to know exactly what documents you might need to show proof of residency. You'll also need to make sure that their immunizations are up to date. They will need to have a physical. They'll need to go to the dentist and have a dental exam, and they will need to have an eye exam. So you can see here that the immunization and physical are due by September 1st. The eye exam is due by October 15th, and then the dental is due by May 15th. So remember that that's May 15th of their kindergarten year. So it's not that you have to have it by this May, but by next May. Okay? And then a little bit about the timeline of when the registration takes place. So registration will open on Monday, February 3rd. And then we do give you some time to, because you may need to get some of those documents together. So you have February 3rd through May 1st. And so the registration for kindergarten closes on May 1st. We provide walk-in registration at the Mellon Administrative Building over at 703 South New Street. All of those dates are listed on the website for you to do walk-in registration. Or you have the ability to call and make an appointment with one of our student assignment specialists. And so at this time, I'm going to introduce them. So in the back, Heidi Johnson, just wave, Heidi. Helping me with my PowerPoint over here is Tina Richmond, and then our third student assignment specialist, she is third day on the job, Anna Lynn Condamera in the back there. Works very, very hard to support you and to help you through the registration process. So their emails are there, their contact information is there. We do have a group email, and so it's probably easier just to use that U4 student assignment at u4sd.org. All right, so in addition to this evening's informational meeting, you will have an opportunity to do some school tours. So we tried to kind of give you some options. So there's several days in February and several days in March for you to get out and to visit the schools. So the schools will be open from 5 to 7 on those evenings. It's an opportunity for you to go and tour the school. If you have additional questions for the principals after you have a chance to meet with them this evening, you'll be able to see principals, see some kindergarten classrooms, and learn a little bit more about each school. So I highly encourage you and invite you to take a look at those dates and make a plan to tour our schools. Additionally, we have some community registration evening events. So we will be registering families on a walk-in basis on February 19th from 4 to 7 at the public library, and then on March 26th from 4 to 7 at Martin Center. All right, so let's talk briefly about the actual school assignment process. And Tina, if you'll go ahead and click that link for you, that'll take us there. Zoom in on the student assignments. Perfect. Okay, so Champaign Unit 4, we are schools of choice, and so what we will ask you to do is to rank all 12 of our schools based upon the choice of where you would like your child to attend school. And then you're going to have to, yeah, thanks. So we do use a computerized program to assist us with the placement of students. So you will rank all 12 of our schools when you actually register. On May 1st, when registration closes, we take that data, we put it into the computerized program, and then it begins to do the student assignment process. We do this to help balance the socioeconomic status of all of our schools. So we take a look and we make the determination of where we're going to set that limit at to better balance our schools in terms of the socioeconomic status. And then we also take a look at each one of the schools based upon the strands and the capacity of each school. So we put in all of the parameters for the student assignment process. So we put in the seat capacity limit. And then we do know that we have some special programming that we need to ensure that those students get placed at certain schools. So we will place those students first before we actually run the computerized program. And then, regardless, if you are the first person to submit your registration on February 3rd, or you get in at the very last minute and you're the last one to register, the computerized system takes everybody's data and gives you a random number. So it doesn't matter if you're the first one to get registered or the last one to get registered. It really functions more like a lottery type system, and so you get a random number. And then, once we have the computerized system start the process, it starts looking through all of the data. It does give preference to siblings. If you have a child already in a school, we want to keep your kids together, right? We want to keep families together. So please make sure when you're doing the registration process, if you have other students in Unit 4, that you could designate that in the registration. Because we'll ask you, do you have other children in Unit 4? And you need to say yes and tell us what school those children go to. We also give the program is set to give preference to proximity. And I know Brad mentioned the proximity map. And if you'd like to know a little bit more about the proximity map, at the end here, the student assignment table is over here at the back. And you can go and they will actually show you that proximity map. It is on our district website, and so you can go and look and see your proximity schools. All right, and so then the software continues to run. It starts running, and it is basically doing a search for trying to make a match between your preferences, where we have capacity, and then it goes through and it places every single student. And every student does get assigned a school. And our historical assignment, we have over the last several years, 84% of the students were assigned their first choice. So there's an 84% chance over the last several years you're going to get your first choice. We had a 92% chance that you're going to get one of your top 3 choices. Okay, so there is a very high likelihood that after you've done your school tours, after you've spoken with principals and made a choice, and when you rank them in the registration process, that you're going to get one of your top schools. So that's the registration process and the school assignment process. At this time, I would invite you to spend some time going out, speaking with the principals, going to the tables. If you have questions for student assignment, I invite you to go and talk to them. Like I said, Special Ed has a table, Kids Plus has a table, Food Service has a table, Transportation and Multilingual Services. We are here to answer your questions. We want you to leave this evening getting as many of your questions answered. We also know that maybe you go home and you look through some of the information, you've read some of the information online, and you have more questions. And that's where that U4 student assignment email address that Heidi, Tina, and Anna Lynn are on. And please call or reach out via email, because we want to make sure that you're making the best choice for your child, the best selection. The other thing to note is that on May 1st, registration closes. We will pull the data, we will then process it through the computerized program. You will be notified on May 9th, right? So on May 9th, you will get notified. You will get notified electronically via email. So make sure that when you do registration, that you put in a good email, one that you check regularly, because that's how you will get your student assignment notification. And once we've assigned, once it's then your child is in place, we do not have transfer options. So once you've got that school, that is your school. Okay? All right. I want to thank you all very much for being here this evening. And again, I invite you to go and meet with principals and meet with some of the other departments to get all of your questions answered. Oh, Dr. Boozer gave me the look and the one moment. All right, Dr. Boozer. Yes.
I just want to say, if you have family members or friends or neighbors who are not here tonight, please let them, you know they got kindergartners, you know they got some little kids at home that's supposed to go to kindergarten. Can you please tell them what I said, please come and register or go? Yes, we need them, so pass the word, we need them to get their students registered. You'd be surprised at how many people forget that they have a kindergartner age child that should be registering for school. I can't make this stuff up. Seriously. And then the last thing I want to say, shout out to Mr. Orlando Thomas, because this was his baby. He did this for years, and he has made this process as seamless as possible. So we want to give it up for Orlando. So thank you.
All right, thank you all very much. And now is your opportunity to go and meet and greet with the principals. Thank you.